It is a true mid-January collision at Hillside High School as two of the nation's elite high school basketball programs collide in a huge Union County encounter. News 12 Varsity presents the Hospital for Special Surgery Game of the Week. Tonight, a mega matchup in the Garden State as the Lions of Roselle Catholic take on the Celtics of the Patrick School. Hello again, everyone. Lou Brogno with you on the call alongside David Resnick at a jam-packed Hillside High School. And David, as we mentioned, these are two of the nation's elite. These two programs combined have 9 Tournament of Champion titles.
These teams travel all over the place to play some of the best competition in the country. These are national brands playing national schedules, but sometimes, Lou, your best competition could be in your backyard.
Well, as you might imagine, Division I talent all over the floor tonight. And for Roselle Catholic, they feature the #1 recruited player in the state of New Jersey, senior Khalil Whitney, heading to the University of Kentucky.
Making his decision before the school year, and he's an offensive dynamo. You put somebody big on him, he'll blow right past you. Put a smaller guard as a defender, he'll take that player to the post. Throw in his mid-range game, and he's nearly unstoppable with his versatility on offense.
And the Celtics counter with Clemson-bound Al Amir Dawes, an outstanding offensive player as well.
Celtics only have one returning starter from last year's team, and it's the 6th best senior in New Jersey this season, according to ESPN. Very dynamic in transition off the bounce. Missed the preseason because of flu-like symptoms. Only now, Lou, in mid-January, is he rounding into form as a future ACC guard.
Great matchup. Opening tip-off coming up. Roselle Catholic and the Patrick School coming up next here on News 12 Varsity. Back in Hillside, Celtics and Lions getting ready to do battle. Lou Brogno along with David Resnick, and of course the third member of our broadcast team, Amanda Puglisi, who's courtside. Amanda?
Well, Lou, when we spoke to Coach Chavanis just a few days ago, he said, I'm not really sure who's going to be in my starting lineup. He says, yeah, I have a lot of talented players, but as of yesterday, Jaquan Harris really physically inserted himself into the starting lineup, and he said, I really like the way that he just really walked onto the court and said, I'm going to be a starter tomorrow. So because of that and because of the way that he played against IMG, Coach Chavanis says, I'm going to give him the nod today. It's going to be his first varsity start. Now on the other side, Coach Boff doesn't have that much of a tough decision to make, he says, when it comes to his starting lineup. He's got a lot of players and a nice mix of experienced guys as well as new guys. And he says, look, we're different here at Roselle Catholic, and everybody knows that you really need to sacrifice a lot to be part of this team, and everyone knows what it takes here to be a Lion and to win.
All right, I mean, that's a great story. Jaquan Harris inserting himself into the lineup in practice, and he is a dynamic freshman. And the Celtic fans excited to see him play tonight against a tough Roselle Catholic team. The Lions are 13-0 as you take a look at their starters, and what a starting lineup it is. Cliff O'Mori up front, and then a 4-guard alignment, including, as we said, Kentucky-bound Khalil Whitney and Josh Pierre-Louis heading to UNLV. And there's a look at the Celtics starting lineup, headlined by Al Amir Dawes, Alexander Rice, who Coach Chris Chavanis says is the glue of this team, and Alejandro Vasquez is averaging over 15 points a game for the Celtics.
Vasquez, along with Dawes, the go-to offensive players. Vasquez is a senior with offers from Fordham, Iona, and UMass. There is so much talent in this game, Lou, that while we know there are 4 Division I commits between the underclassmen and some of the less heralded seniors, we're talking for Roselle, 7 players with Division I offers. The Patrick School can nearly match that as well.
As we said, Roselle Catholic comes in undefeated, 13-0. They've won 25 straight games, 36 in a row against New Jersey competition. The last team to beat them in New Jersey, the Patrick School. So we are underway. Roselle Catholic in their road black uniforms trimmed with gold, and the Patrick School in their home white.
You just gave away our trivia question in the first 12 seconds, Lou.
Well, maybe they weren't paying attention.
For the late arriving crowd.
a quick foul. And to the line goes Khalil Whitney, the 6'7" senior, averaging 21.5 points a game. A dynamic offensive force. It is first free throw, no good. He'll get another. The Celtics play their home games at Hillside High School, the home of the Comets. And the second, no good as well. Rebound tracked down, pulled down by Alon Johnson, the 6'4" senior, getting the start for the Patrick School. Here's Al Amir Dawes. And he hands it off up top. This is Johnson, and whistle underneath. Foul will be on Roselle Catholic, a hold call. And that's the first team foul on the Lions. Patrick School comes in 7-4, but don't be misled by that 7-4 record. They play a very tough national schedule. Three-point shot off the side of the backboard, taken by Dawes, and rebounded outside by Vasquez. Vasquez, 6'4" junior, coming off a big game against IMG at 30 points. He stops, pops, that's short, and the ball pulled out of the air by Whitney. Lions on the run, alley-oop opportunity, slammed through by Cliff Onwuri, the 6'11" junior.
Bounced around the last couple of years in terms of his high school home, but settling into a nice role as a front court presence for the Lions.
Dawes up top, fires a three, got it. Nothing but net for Al Amir Dawes, and the Celtics take a 1-point lead. Whitney being played by Vasquez. Beautiful pass inside to Onwuri, who jams it through.
Patrick School all season long dealing with their lack of size, and Big Cliff at 6'11" right now, showing his ability to take over in the paint.
Dawes outside being played by Pierre Louis. Dawes gets around him, almost lost the dribble, brings it back out, fires a three, off the rim, no. Rebound underneath, put up and in. Nicely done there. Alon Johnson with the bucket off the rebound, and fighting for the ball there. Alexander Rice pulls it away.
Nice job there by the Patrick School. And in terms of keys to this game, first of two we know of, potentially first of four for Roselle Catholic. Their effort and energy, that's been the key to a 13-0 start. The closeout, making sure to get out on the Patrick School shooters and value possessions, because the Celtics really good in terms of stealing the ball and putting pressure on your guards as they bring it up the floor.
Traveling the call on Vasquez as he took an extra step, driving down the lane. 5-4 the score. The Celtics with a 1-point lead. 5.5 remaining here in the first quarter.
Meanwhile, Lou, for the Patrick School, we talked about the lack of height, so rebounding is going to be really important. Also, the idea of swinging it, moving the ball around, making sure that they don't take early, deep shots, and second effort. A lot of times, Lou, you think about second effort points off of rebounds. We're talking about what they do in the second quarter. They've had a bit of a trend this season of having strong starts, but fading away after 8 minutes.
On the turnover, the Celtics will inbound side court, as you see Chris Chavanis, the head coach of the Patrick School in his 9th season. Al Amir Dawes brings it across, and he gives up top to Johnson. Alon Johnson back to Dawes, breaks free off a screen, gets around two defenders, stops, pops off the back rim, no, and skying for that rebound, Whitney. Pierre Louis, crossover dribble, drives baseline, puts it up, can't score. And the rebound pulled down again by Alon Johnson, doing a nice job on the boards. Rice dumps it off in the corner. Vasquez hits the three. Alejandro Vasquez from deep in the corner. And the Celtics have a 4-point lead.
Vasquez, a good outside shooter for the Patrick School. So while Roselle Catholic knows that they have deep threats, you have to like the way they move the ball to get the better look.
Nice move by Richie Greaves, high off the glass, and he cuts it to a 2-point game. Greaves, the transfer from Rutgers Prep, has been a nice addition to this Roselle Catholic lineup. Vasquez off the back rim, and Whitney skying for that rebound.
That was forced compared to the previous possession. Different result. A miss follows a make.
Here's Pierre Louis, flips it back outside. On the baseline, Colby Rogers. Turnaround jumper is good. Colby Rogers, the 6'5 senior, averaging 11.5 a game.
That was well contested. Better offense there for Roselle Catholic, as Rogers maybe falls a bit under the radar when you have players like Whitney and Pierre Louis, but Rogers just this week earning himself a McDonald's All-American nominee.
We are tied at 8 in a quick moving first quarter. Alexander Rice flips it back outside. Here's the jump shot, doesn't go. Taken by Jaquan Harris, the 6'3 freshman. Substitution for Roselle Catholic, Ahmad Robinson checks into the game. And he replaces Richie Greaves, who heads to the bench.
Depth favors the Patrick School as Roselle Catholic only goes 7 deep. Robinson, one of 2 to come off the bench, along with the freshman Corey Floyd Jr.
Oh, what a move on the baseline by Whitney. Just floated to the hoop and laid it in. Rice hands it off. Vasquez dribbles in, flips in the corner, nowhere to go that time. Two and a half remaining in the first. This is Deontay Johnson, who just entered the game. And a call goes against the Patrick School. Couple of substitutions into the game is Javen Irby, number 24 for the Patrick School. 10-8, Roselle Catholic up by a bucket. Whitney in the corner, jump shot, dances off the back rim, and Rice pulls down the rebound. Rice dribbles in, puts it up off the glass and in. Beautiful play by Alexander Rice.
Important for the Patrick School to get paint touches, and sometimes people think paint touches is about the post. Sometimes it's about driving in and creating those lanes. If they collapse on Rice, he'll be able to set up his teammates with outside looks.
Whitney with that quick turnaround jumper, but no one underneath for the Lions, and Dawes quickly brought it up. Minute 50 remaining here in this first quarter. Jaden Pierre, another one of those impressive freshmen, David, ready to inbound for the Celtics.
One of 3 impact 9th graders for the Patrick School this season. Pierre's been flirting as a starter and one of the first players off the bench for the Celtics.
There's Dawes, Vasquez, top of the key. Crossover dribble, and then puts up a shot over his shoulder as he draws the foul. And he will go to the line. You know, it's funny, we're talking about the freshmen and talking to head coach Chris Chavanis as you see this play by Vasquez. You know, he talked about the freshmen going up against that tough schedule early in the season. He said the first 4 games they were scared. Rightfully so, I think.
There's a lot of big dudes out there, Lou.
But not now. This team is clicking on all cylinders, the Celtics.
Yeah, the reality is for these schools, you remember championships, and whether that's a league title or a county title or a state championship or a TOC, you don't so much remember potential non-conference and non-league struggles. Certainly you want those marquee victories in terms of national recognition and prestige. After all, Roselle Catholic up to 13-0 and ranked number 11 in the USA Today national poll. But when you talk about accomplishing your goals, you can't do that in early December.
Here's Whitney, flips up top. Greaves lost it. Beautiful play by Pierre. And Rice goes up and slams it through. Jaden Pierre igniting the fire. And Alexander Rice finished it off. His team up by 4.
Big smile by Rice. Almost got caught between an easy layup and a dunk. Good thing for him in the post-game ribbing that he put it through.
Whitney dribbling in, lost the dribble, but a foul is called. And the Celtic bench up and cheering on their teammates. They are fired up.
Chris Chavanis has found a lineup that is playing with great intensity and great grit, good defensively, and they're exuding that effort right in front of their bench.
Lions trigger in on the baseline. Final minute of play here in the first quarter. Bounce pass trying to get it into Whitney. Excellent defense once again by the Patrick School. Here's Rice going 100 miles an hour up the court. Oh, what a spin by Dawes. Oh, what a pass. But then unable to jam it through was Irby. What a pass by Dawes.
Has the gym buzzing.
Brought the fans to their feet. Final 10 seconds of the quarter. Ahmad Robinson down to 5. Bounce pass on the baseline and the foul as Richie Greaves put up the shot, and he'll go to the line.
Well, they did everything but finish. And we got on Rice a moment ago for almost missing the dunk. There'll be some friendly jabs after the game, but what a job by Dawes to really break down the defense, creative with the spin. Nearly had a complete highlight reel play, even with just the setup. Good to see again.
Richie Greaves averaging just a shade over 8 points per game. 6-foot junior, second free throw good. He draws his team to within 2. At the buzzer, the shot off the rim. Good look by Jaden Pierre, just couldn't get it to fall, and that is the end of the first quarter. And of course, this game is brought to you by HSS, the #1 hospital for orthopedics with locations in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. The best is now nearby. Our score after 1, Patrick School up by 2. They lead it 14-12. Back in Hillside, excellent first quarter of play as the Patrick School enjoys a 2-point lead over Roselle Catholic. Lions coming in undefeated, 13-0. Blew out American history in their last game, 81-49. But the Patrick School played an excellent first period. Here's Greaves outside. Bounce pass into Whitney. He puts up a little baby hook, gets his own rebound, and a foul underneath. Looks like it'll go against the Celtics. What a spin by Whitney. Khalil Whitney throws it down.
Whitney's had a bit of an uneven start. Earlier in the first quarter, spent more of his time as a driver, but starting things off on the block where you have the physicality at 6'7", but then also the quickness right by his defender, and nobody's gonna catch him at the rim. Just so fluid, so powerful so strong. And what's great for him at the next level, he's listed as a guard at 6'7". He's got those type of skills. He's not a guy that plays the post and would be undersized at the next level. He could also step out and drain a three.
Khalil Whitney putting on a show here in the first minute of play in quarter number 2.
It's a motivated Khalil Whitney, who's on a personal 5-0 run to give Roselle Catholic the lead.
And they're up by 3, a steal by Corey Flood. And here comes Whitney again, pops a 3 off the rim.
That was a heat check, and why not? You already got 5 in a row, just hit a 3 the last possession down. Just one of those things where you want to continue that run, but in the flow of offense, if you're Whitney, you know the ball is going to come back to you. Set up the offense to run a play.
Alamir Dawes trying to get around a screen. In the corner, Rice open for 3, got it. Alexander Rice drills it from the corner, and we're tied at 17.
You mentioned him that he's the glue. He also plays the most minutes and comes up with stabilizing buckets like he did there.
Dawes pulls down the rebound, coast to coast. He takes it in with the left hand, can't score. Gets his own rebound, dishes outside. They go cross court, Vasquez. And Rice slows things down a little bit.
Floyd playing defense, the impressive 14-year-old freshman who becomes the first 9th grader since Naz Reid to see significant time. Dawes, the veteran, sticks a 3.
Alamir Dawes gives the Celtics a 3-point lead. They're up 20-17. Richie Greaves dribbles in, lays it home.
So the Patrick School answered with a 6-0 run to overcome the 5-0 start to the quarter for Roselle Catholic. And now we're trading buckets.
Dawes with a high rainbow shot puts the Celtics up by 3. Whitney behind the back dribble, pops and hits.
Well, that's a high major move if you've ever seen one. Going behind the back, the step back to create separation, and views the rim easily.
Dawes draws the foul. David, second quarter, very important to the Patrick School. Chris Chavanis told us yesterday that throughout the season, the first quarter, they've had great starts. But in the second quarter, they have struggled. In fact, they're averaging only 4 points in the second quarter.
Well, he's mentioned times where they came out strong, either with a lead or matching a tough team point for point, and then something happens in the second quarter where they begin to falter, and that's something that we brought up, Lou, right from the start of the broadcast in terms of that second effort. Are they going to follow up the first quarter where they had a 2-point lead after 8 minutes with another solid effort, or will they find themselves in a hole come halftime?
Well, Dawes hits both free throws, and the Celtics have a 3-point lead. They're up 24-21 with 3 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Kentucky-bound Khalil Whitney already has put on quite a show here in this first half. Here's Greaves. Hands to Whitney. Tough defense here by the Celtics. Now Whitney gets free. Pops a 3, doesn't go. Tracking down the rebound, Robinson, and the Lions able to draw the foul underneath.
Dave Boff has been really impressed with the effort, the energy, the hustle plays by this Lions team. And make no mistake, there is a ton of talent on the floor, but it takes sacrifice, as Amanda mentioned before, but also the willingness to give of yourself in terms of your hustle, make the extra pass. And I think Dave Boff really likes the culture that has been created with this particular team as the defending TOC champs, longest winning streak in New Jersey at 25 overall, including 36 straight against Garden State competition.
It's a 2-point game. Patrick School up by a bucket, 24-22. Alejandro Vasquez, a long three off the front rim. Rebound to Whitney. And again, he goes behind the back at the midcourt line. Robinson back to Whitney. And he brings it back out.
Anthony Thomas defending, quickness advantage.
Whitney hits the jump shot outside. That just a 2, just inside the line. And we're tied at 24.
11 overall for Whitney, 9 in this second quarter. And we started the broadcast talking about how many different ways Whitney can score, and he's displayed that here in the second quarter.
Here's Rice from the foul line, pumps it up and puts it in. Kind of jackknifed it up there.
Rice has such a great sense of the game. After all, he's the son of King Rice, the former UNC star, current Monmouth head coach. But just his sense of understanding when his team needs a basket, when his team needs him to assert himself.
Ball jumps out of the hands there of Cliff Umruri, but last touched by the Patrick School, so the Lions will toss in on the baseline. Josh Pierre-Louis heading to UNLV. He'll play for the Running Rebels, averaging over 15 points a game. Look at Rice hopping and skipping towards the basket, but unable to connect. Using the dribble, Pierre-Louis, ball on the floor, still on the floor, and now kicked. Kick ball is the call. Roselle Catholic last year 29-4. Of course, captured the TOC title, their third since 2013. They've won 4 non-public B titles in the last 6 years. We talked about the dominance of these programs early on. Fadeaway jumper doesn't go. In and out from Whitney.
Alon Johnson back on the floor, just stands at 6'4", but he's actually provided an inside presence for the Celtics.
Dawes, another high arcing shot. Whitney kind of trying to pass it to himself that time. And a foul on the Patrick School. Looks like they got Vasquez in the backcourt. And with the Celtics over the limit, that will send Khalil Whitney to the line. Trying to draw the Lions even here. His first is no good.
It's been the one spot, Lou, where he struggled to score. Missed a couple of free throws early stage of the first quarter, and they're on the front end of a 1-and-1.
Here's Dawes up top. It goes to Alon Johnson. Whitney hops out on him. Ticking down towards 2 minutes left. First half. Dawes. Deontay Johnson. Tough defense here by Roselle Catholic. Dawes trying to penetrate, gets a screen. Dishes in the corner. Deontay Johnson, a lot of passes here, blocked underneath by Umruri. Up ahead comes Roselle Catholic. Beautiful fast break. And Josh Pierre-Louis lays it in.
Whitney, what a pass to thread it to a moving target while he himself is on the run. That was incredible vision and touch.
We are tied at 26. A minute 20 remaining here in the second. Fadeaway jumper by Vasquez doesn't go. Underneath, the rebound tapped up. It doesn't go. Another opportunity. Yet another tapped in by Vasquez. 28-26. The Celtics by 2.
Except for a little spurt by Umruri, Patrick School has done a nice job defending the block and rebounding, which was definitely a concern for the Patrick School entering this game, as it's been the entire season. The Celtics are not yet whole. They feel like as the season progresses, they'll get some of their players back who will become eligible in time. and many of those players, or at least a few of them, because we're not talking a whole lot in general, bring additional size and depth to the front court. Wait, how come they're not holding for one? There's 45 seconds left on the clock.
That might not be in the playbook of these two teams. Just a guess.
I thought when you get possession with 90 seconds to go, you just hold on to it. That's not how it works around here anymore. I'm not asking you to defend the entire state, but you are the representative, so.
Well, these are two teams that don't need a shot clock. To the line goes Cliff Omruri, 6'11" junior. And oh, by the way, he is not committed yet, but he has plenty of offers. Florida, UConn, Rutgers, Illinois, Syracuse among them. West Virginia.
Seton Hall as well.
Yes, Seton Hall, right.
Local schools.
Miami, Illinois.
According to ESPN, number 60 in the nation in the class of 2020. So you're looking at one of the best post players in the nation, and Dave Boff thinks, even as an 11th grader, the best big man in the state.
Celtics up by one. Jump shot off the back rim doesn't go. Rebound tracked down beautifully by Johnson. And now the Celtics might hold for the last shot.
It would be appropriate at this stage.
Here's Dawes, and he fires it up off the mark and saved on the baseline, but just 0.8 seconds remaining.
It's like shot clock bingo. You got to mention it at least once during a New Jersey game.
At the buzzer, off the back rim by Josh Pierre-Louis, and the first half comes to an end. Hey, very entertaining first half of play between these two mega programs. 28-27 the score. And, of course, this game brought to you by HSS, the #1 hospital for orthopedics, with locations in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. The best is now nearby. Terrific first half of play. Patrick School with a 1-point lead. They lead at 28-27 here at halftime. Well, Amanda standing by with a very special guest from the Patrick School. Amanda?
Thanks, Lou. I'm here with Coach Todd Decker, the coach of the national team at the Patrick School. So what exactly is the national team compared to this varsity team that we're watching right now?
Great question. We just do not play NJSIAA teams. We play everybody outside the NJSIAA. We have kids from freshmen, a sophomore, a couple of juniors, some seniors, and then even some fifth-year kids. So we have a really nice mix of kids.
And how did this whole national team come about? Because this isn't something you see in every high school.
No, I mean, but not every place is St. Pat's or the Patrick School either. Coach Chavanis and Mr. Littman, Mr. Bidoff, something they've been talking about since I've been here for 4 years now, and it finally came, about where they said this summer we think we're going to do it. So I was excited for it.
Coach Chavanis told us that your players are so talented that they may even beat his guys on some days. But so far, your season, it's a great season. What's your assessment of your team?
Couldn't ask for a better group of kids to coach. I mean, they're hungry kids. We're kind of like the United Nations. We have guys from all over the world, which is awesome. I think we have 6 international kids, but just a great group of kids. To see kids get their first scholarship offer, guys really coming together, it's special.
What is it about the Patrick School, and how are you guys able to attract such talented basketball players?
Coach Chavanis could probably answer that better than I can. I know from the St. Pat's tradition, Kyrie Irving, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Al Harrington, to what the Patrick Schools evolved into. It definitely doesn't lack for talent. I'm sure there's a lot of coaches and schools that are a little jealous that you get to work with such high talented, high profile kids, but it's been a blessing.
All right, Coach, thanks so much, and we'll let you enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you.
All right, well, David and Lou, the Patrick School leading Roselle Catholic 28-27. And guys, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, David and Lou will have more highlights after this.
Welcome back to a jam-packed Hillside High School. Terrific first half of play. The Patrick School leading Roselle Catholic by 1, 28-27. Lou Brogno along with David Resnick, and David, a scintillating first half of play. Both teams up and down the floor.
It really was, and a first half that was also exceptionally close. Cliff O'Murray controlling the paint early before Alamir Dawes really came up in the second quarter in a big way. 10 points to lead the Patrick School. Couple of looks there of Big Cliff in the middle. Khalil Whitney, 11 points overall, 9 of them in the second quarter. Alexander Rice in transition for the Celtics. It went back and forth. Teams went on maybe a 5 or 6 point run, maybe at one point a slight 2-possession lead, but there's been a lot of good play back and forth. A score that would indicate that there has been defense, and there really has been, in addition to some really impressive shot making from future Division I players. Patrick School was concerned about their lack of height and their potential lackluster play in the second quarter. They've answered both of those positively so far.
Of course, this game has a lot of meaning, not only as far as statewide rankings are concerned, but to these two teams, they care a whole lot about this as well. The Union County Conference Watchung Division title, and Roselle Catholic is off to a good start in the division. They're 2-0. The Patrick School has played only one division game so far. They're 1-0. So really, things just getting started within the division.
It's elite basketball, and even though it's a small division, you're talking 4 of the best teams in the state.
So the second half just moments away, should be a good one. Roselle Catholic and the Patrick School, just 1 point separates the two teams. Well, another great game between these two foes, a 1 point affair. And David, these two teams have had great games over the last 5 or 6 games.
It's interesting. This game has really been the litmus test in the past couple of years, and the reason why is because there are great players, and so a lot of times it's if you've got the top talent, will you win? And what's interesting about the regular season has been a predictor for what's going to happen in terms of the TOC. If you look back to 2017, the Patrick School beat Roselle Catholic 4 times, regular season, county tournament, and then in the state tournament. And then last year, Roselle Catholic, with 3 victories over the Patrick School, they went on to win their 3rd TOC in the last 6 years. So listen, a lot can change, and it's actually very surprising that a team would sweep, but this game is an indication in terms of who's one of the elite teams and perhaps the best team in New Jersey.
All right, let's check in with Amanda.
Lou, of course, halftime is always a time for coaches to readjust from that first half. And when I spoke to Coach Boff, he said to me he wants to see a little more energy from his guys. And also, he said defensively, we need to do a better job, and we need to lock down guys like Dawes and Rice. Dawes and Rice have combined 19 of the Patrick School's 28. And on the other side, Coach Chavane is saying we need to stop fouling. We need to keep that under control. That's really been an issue for us all season long, and we are just sending Roselle Catholic to the free throw line. We cannot do that in the second half, and we want to keep this one close.
Well, 2 of the top coaches in the tri-state area year in and year out. Dave Boff at his 12th season at Roselle Catholic. Chris Chavanis in his 9th season with the Patrick School. One-time assistant under Kevin Boyle, who built that program at St. Patrick's, of course.
Would you be more of a sitter like Chris is, or more of a pacer like Dave?
I think I probably would be more of a pacer.
Really?
Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe, huh?
I mean, you're so laid back and mellow.
Not when it comes to game time, though.
I guess I've never seen you coach rec league before.
Dawes slips down, somehow got that pass off as he was heading to the floor.
If we were compiling a highlight reel of drives, we'd have it in the game. Not every time it's actually resulted into points like it did there for Vasquez.
Vasquez hits the 3 from the corner, and the Celtics are up by 4. It's 31-27, so they strike first here in the second half. Whitney, fadeaway jumper, beautiful shot. He has such a sweet shot, and he draws the Lions to within a bucket.
You know, in some ways, the Patrick School, as they've had their bumps in the road through an 0-2 start, 6 straight wins, and now alternating losses and wins in the last 4, they almost got through that mental hurdle of playing poorly in previous second quarters. Now that they're to the point where they have a second half lead, perhaps for this young team, for Chris Javanis, there's going to be a new level of optimism for the final 16 minutes.
Of course, the Celtics won it all in 2017. They won non-public B South. As David mentioned earlier, they defeated Roselle Catholic 71-62. They've won 6 TOC titles. And that championship in 2017 was the first since 2009, going back to when the school was St. Patrick's. They kind of combine all the records going all the way back to St. Patrick's. St. Patrick's School closed in 2012, reopened as the Patrick School.
Just some of the highlights and the summation for the season so far as we're in mid-January and focusing more on league play. They did have that 6-game winning streak in the middle of the season after dropping 2 to open up the year, including a loss at Barclays as part of the Kyrie Invitational against nationally ranked Lehigh. Vasquez hits another triple in this third. Chris Javanis saying that experience, despite the loss, was the best time that he's had, as Kyrie has been really awesome to his alma mater since making it big in the NBA.
Meanwhile, Vasquez on fire. Outstanding offensive player. Look at Khalil Whitney with the reverse on the baseline. And he draws the Lions to within 3. It's 34-31. 6:25 left in the third. Dawes for 3. Amir Dawes. Clemson-bound guard hits from way downtown, and he gives the Patrick School a 6-point lead. 37-31. Inside, they dump it to Omrui. Oh, what a block underneath. Beautifully done.
By the man they call Ola. Making his debut for the Patrick School. Finally eligible after sitting out due to a transfer from McDowell High School in Pennsylvania.
Jump shot from three-point range doesn't go by Dawes. And I apologize for the slowness of calling Ola. It's the third 24 I've had on my roster today, so.
That's since lunchtime. They might have changed jerseys during halftime, Luke.
But Ola is wearing 24.
And could be a potential game changer not only today, but for the rest of the season. He plugs a serious need in terms of his height.
6'9" senior Khalil Whitney with a beautiful drive.
I just love players where if you've never seen a basketball game before and you had no idea what to look for, you'd watch him play and immediately assume that he's the best. He's the most fluid, he's the most athletic. He plays with such an effortless air and finally gets a free throw to go to really complete his scoring portfolio tonight.
A three-point play for Khalil Whitney, and he makes it a three-point game. 37-34, 5:33 remaining here in the third.
The battles of two tonight with Dawes and Whitney, as good as advertised in terms of high major commits.
High off the glass, put in by Vasquez. He put that one way up on the top of the glass.
8 third quarter points. He's a big bruising guard with New York toughness.
Stolen by Rice. Up ahead, laid up, and beautiful fast break. And the basket scored by Anthony Thomas.
Rare transition opportunity in this game as the Patrick School takes its largest lead of the game.
But then Thomas reaches in on Whitney and commits the foul. It is a 7-point advantage for the Celtics. 41-34, 4 minutes and 49 seconds remaining here in the third. Josh Pierre-Louis Flips it over to Colby Rogers. Roselle Catholic would like to get him going, and he puts it up, but it dances off the back rim.
It's a great point, Lou. It's really been Whitney leading the way, and his co-stars in Rogers and Pierre-Louis have combined for just 4, 2 each.
Dawes dribbles in, has it stripped away by Omruri. And here comes Greaves. He takes it right down the lane, high off the glass and in. Beautiful play by Greaves. He'll go to the line, a chance for a three-point play.
Fearless, splitting defenders in transition, and really when he hits the foul line, perhaps a bit out of control, but great body control, challenges the shot blocker, avoids the rejection, and finds the perfect angle off the window to create a three-point play opportunity.
A chance to slice the deficit to 4.
And you know, I gotta mention, it's interesting, Patrick School went up 7, had all the momentum. That is classic time to call timeout and regroup, and Dave Boff has allowed his team to play through it, and they've cut the deficit almost in half as they now trail by 4.
31-37, just about halfway through quarter number 3. Vasquez, great head fake, and hits the jumper.
Vasquez has been such a consistent scorer throughout the season, a team best 15 per. He's hit that mark with 4 minutes to go in the third.
Whitney taps it out, and it goes out, giving chase Salon Johnson, but just couldn't get there in time. So it will remain Roselle Catholic basketball. Lions down by 6, 43-37. Here's Whitney in the corner, dribbles out. Hands it off to Rogers. Colby Rogers has it stripped by Rice, but he gets called for the foul.
A whistle a moment ago against Ola was his 4th foul, and so the size for the Celtics, who's given the Patrick School a bit of a spark off the bench, somebody just playing in his first game where you'd have to worry about stamina. You also have to be concerned about playing properly, and the foul trouble will saddle him to the bench for now.
Colby Rogers averaging 11.5 a game, has offers, Division I offers from Wagner, Fairleigh Dickinson, East Carolina. He cuts the deficit to 5. Rogers knocks it away. It's saved by Deontay Johnson. A mad scramble for the ball right in front of the Lions bench. And it looks like a foul called on the Patrick School.
It is the 6th team foul called against the Celtics in less than 5 minutes of play into the half. Meanwhile, Roselle Catholic has not committed a foul in this third quarter. We'll see if that situation impacts the game, because very shortly, Roselle Catholic is going to be shooting free throws on common fouls for the duration.
Rogers spinning and twisting and draws the foul. And that'll be the 7th team foul on the Celtics. So they are now over the limit. And that will put Colby Rogers on the line. And his first is good.
3rd foul against Shaheem Powell, standing at 6'7", and another player providing frontline presence for the Patrick School in foul trouble.
He hits both and draws Roselle Catholic to within 3. It's 43-40 with 3 minutes remaining in the third. Cross-court pass almost intercepted by the Lions. Now top of the key is Powell, Shaheem Powell in the game now for the Celtics. Vasquez dumps it outside. Tough defense here by Roselle Catholic. Dawes breaks through a double team, and they step on the baseline. So that tough defense forces a turnover.
Jaden Pierre, just a freshman, one of 3 that plays significant minutes for the Celtics, stepping on the baseline there. And defensively, in a no shot clock game, you've got to have the mentality that you have to lock in endlessly. You don't have the backdrop of a clock.
Khalil Whitney with another beautiful shot, cuts the deficit to 1.
Georgetown, Illinois, Oregon, part of the final selection as Khalil Whitney choosing Kentucky and leading the Lions today.
So timeout called. Roselle Catholic has cut it to a 1-point game. They trail 43-42. Of course, Roselle Catholic coming in 13-0, 2-0 in the league. They've won 11 games by 10 or more. Had a big victory against Archbishop Stepinac. And Roselle Catholic, David, not too many teams can take a hit. Remember, they graduated Naz Reid, who's now at LSU, Alonzo Frank at South Carolina. Not too many teams can take a hit like that, 2 Division I players, but yet here they are, undefeated.
And Ethiel Horton, who went to Delaware. So 3 Division I starters no longer with the team. Whitney, the only returning starter. And the victory over Stepinac was significant because the Patrick School, as TOC champ, the overall champion in New Jersey, beat this past weekend at Mount St. Michael in the Bronx, the reigning overall New York State champion. Their tournament is called the Federation Tournament, and so you had overall champ in New Jersey against overall champ in New York, a great showcase as part of the Empire Invitational.
Patrick School trying to break that tough trapping defense, and now floating it up, but short. On the shot was Anthony Thomas. A long 3 by Dawes doesn't go. And now Roselle Catholic with an opportunity to take the lead.
And it would be their first since an early spurt in the second quarter.
Whitney, long 3, doesn't go off the back rim. Umruri with a huge rebound. Dumps it back outside to Pierre-Louis, who drives and scores. Josh Pierre-Louis gives the Lions a 1-point lead.
A spark off the bench last year, an unselfish star this season in the starting lineup. If he gets going, Roselle Catholic can put buckets together. And now this common foul, a harmless backcourt foul, maybe not a wise one, Lou, is now setting up a 1-and-1 on the other end.
Patrick School well over the limit, their 8th team foul. And to the line goes Colby Rogers. And his first is good. Second good as well.
Familiar with the law of averages, I'm sure, right? Well, that was a fast-moving first half. Team is already in the bonus, and we're not even into the 4th quarter. It's going to be a slow-moving second.
Thanks for pointing that out, Dave.
Just wanted to set your expectations where they should be.
Foul on Roselle Catholic. And a quick timeout called as well with 59 seconds left here in this 3rd quarter.
Was taken by Roselle Catholic.
See the Patrick School, what a legacy they have had, of course. 15 sectional titles, 8 since 2000. And, you know, we talked about the tremendous talent on the court here tonight, David. How about these McDonald All-American nominees? 3 for Roselle Catholic, and of course Alamir Dawes for the Patrick School.
So half of the total from New Jersey is playing in this game. A year after the Garden State got 2 selections in Naz Reid of Roselle Catholic, now playing at LSU, and Javon Quinterly of Hudson Catholic a year ago, now playing his ball at Villanova. And so we started talking at the top of the broadcast, Lou, about how these teams go out and play a national schedule, play in showcases. In fact, both these teams on Saturday will be at Springfield as part of the Hoop Hall Classic. And yet sometimes if you just come back to your county, or in this case your division, forget about the state. You might be playing some of the best teams that you'll see all season. That's what's so impressive about these teams in this particular matchup on some random Thursday night in Union County.
Vasquez at the line. We talk about Union County. Of course, you have these two teams. You've got to factor in Linden, St. Mary's of Elizabeth. And this year, the Minutemen of Elizabeth High School are also undefeated so far this season, having a spectacular year.
The return of Phil Colicchio to his alma mater, and he could be coaching a freshman team on the varsity level, and his presence immediately makes that team a factor.
Fadeaway jumper doesn't go. It's a 1-point lead for Roselle Catholic. A long three off the back rim. It doesn't go. Taken by Ahmad Robinson. And the ball knocked out of bounds by the Celtics. It will remain Roselle Catholic ball.
Lot of contact, battling for the rebound in the corner. And it seemed like the officials just allowed it to play out and blew the whistle only when it went out of bounds, despite all the contact.
Whitney puts the brakes on. Turnaround jumper off the front rim. No. And the rebound pulled down by Alon Johnson. Here comes Dawes. He flips it up ahead. Three-point shot is off the mark. Taken by Anthony Thomas. Dawes outside. Cuts through two defenders. And a foul called on Roselle Catholic. That's just the second team foul on the Lions. So the Celtics will toss it in.
Second foul there against Colby Rogers.
Just 13 seconds remaining. Patrick School can regain the lead with a bucket here. They get it into Vasquez. He pumps it up, doesn't go. And the rebound pulled down by Colby Rogers. Up ahead, Robinson. He takes it all the way and scores.
Nobody stopped the ball. A wide open lane. Nobody picked up Robinson as he sprinted across half court.
A late third quarter burst by Roselle Catholic gives them a 3-point lead. And this great game brought to you by HSS, the #1 hospital for orthopedics, with locations in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. The best is now nearby. Roselle Catholic by 3 heading to the fourth. Welcome back to Hillside. Roselle Catholic with a 3-point lead. They're up 48-45. David, as we mentioned, it has been 36 straight wins against New Jersey competition for the Lions.
You're going back 22 months. The last loss for Roselle Catholic against an opponent in the state of New Jersey was in the non-public B South title game. A victory for the Patrick School, one of 4 that season over the Lions, on the way to the Celtics claiming the TOC.
Nice burst to the hoop by Josh Pierre-Louis, but he could not finish. Rice trying to bring it down for the Celtics, dumps it inside, but quick hands by the Lions knock it away. Whitney with a touch pass to Omruri, who could not finish the jam. It comes back to Vasquez. He takes it in and draws the foul.
All the tough misses have been on that end of the floor as Omruri couldn't put it down in transition. Thinking back to that game in March of 2017, looking in the box score, Khalil Whitney was a sophomore with 16 points. There was a Pierre-Louis that participated, but that was Nate, Josh's older brother, who's now at Temple. Alamir Dawes was also a sophomore that saw action for the Patrick School. There was a Harris, but not Jaquan. Jameer, the older brother, who went to Minnesota and has since transferred to American. Nick Richards, the McDonald's All-American, with 28 points, leading the way for the Patrick School. some familiar names, some familiar players, and also in terms of remembering that great season capped off by Nick Richards.
And let's check in with Amanda. She's got more on the Patrick School.
Well, Lou, as you can imagine, fouls have been an issue. Coach Chavan is telling his players that they need to play smarter. But more importantly, he says on defense, we need to get back. As we saw a few plays ago, a fast break for Roselle Catholic. That is not what he wants to see. He's urging his players, we need to move our feet. We need to hustle back on defense. And as far as offense goes, he says we need to find the open player. There are plenty of guys open on offense. We need to make the smart pass, and we need to find them.
And another highlight reel play by Khalil Whitney as he converts the three-point play. As he hits the free throw. It's a 4-point lead for Roselle Catholic.
That was one of the things that Chris Chavanis told us before the game in terms of we don't want early deep shots. We want to move the ball. We want to swing it. We want to get the defense to work. If there was a shot clock, it would be the idea of don't take something in the first 10 seconds, work it for a better shot.
It's Robinson, hands to Whitney. Whitney behind the back dribble, fadeaway jumper, draws the foul.
It's a great attempt to even make some contact with the long Whitney, who creates great separation with the step back. You know, it's amazing to think that the Patrick School was up by 7 on a run in that third quarter. Dave Boff does not call timeout, allows his team to play through it, try to find a rhythm. And it's really been a collective effort climbing them back in this 12-point turnaround from down 7 to up 5.
It's now a 5-point game, 52-47. And Whitney eyes the hoop. Second good as well. The Lions go up by 6, 53-47. Critical time in the game right now for the Celtics. Down by 6, double team, steals the ball. Up ahead and going up for the jam was Josh Pierre-Louis. Ball was knocked out of his hands before he got up there.
Oh, he got up there all right. I mean, we've seen more highlights of plays that didn't convert. Look at him size up the rim. Ooh, he cocked it back big time. People are going to talk about what could have been on that play, not what was. Such an explosive player, 6'4". You saw the athleticism to the rim, and Roselle Catholic is getting into a groove. Defense to offense, getting looks at the rim. Khalil Whitney's leading the way with 25, but Pierre-Louis picking up his game in the last 5 minutes.
Comes off a solid performance, 17 points, 11 assists against American history. And a timeout called by the Celtics. 6:37 remaining here in the fourth. Chris Chavanis wants to talk to his team. They're down by 7. Well, the Celtics schedule tough as always. We talked about the national flavor to their schedule, and it continues with our savior, New American. They'll be back in league, and there's that tough Union County slate there, David. St. Mary's, Linden, Elizabeth, again against St. Mary's. Then they've got Hudson Catholic, throw in Bergen Catholic as well, and then another meeting with these Lions in early February.
Crusaders, a top 5 team in the state. The rematch, Roselle Catholic will host it on February 5th, right before the start of the Union County tournament.
And a look at the big crowd here at Hillside High School, where the Celtics play their home games. Of course, we talked about the great legacy of this program, all the great players that have come through. David mentioned a few of them before, Nick Richards and Jordan Walker, of course, Kyrie Irving, Al Harrington, Michael Gilchrist. The list is long. Ball knocked away, picked up by Greaves. It's a 3-on-1, and getting back defensively, the freshman, Jaden Pierre. Nice hustle by the freshman. Did not concede that fast break. And that was important as Roselle Catholic could have gone up by 9 points on that sequence. They still have possession here. Whitney outside. Dribbling in against Vasquez. Greaves right down the lane, dishes underneath, and O'Rourke jams it through, but the whistle had blown, traveling the call.
So during the normal run of play, it's been tough to dunk, and when one is converted, it doesn't count. It's tough.
Yeah, I can't relate because it's tough for me anytime.
Even on that 6-foot basket you have in the backyard.
Well, I'm pretty good with the puff basketball that's hanging on my closet door, but
I've seen you throw away the trash before. You crumple up the piece of paper and throw it in.
Celtics will inbound in front of their own bench. Jaden Pierre to trigger.
Nobody dunks his trash like Lou Brogno.
Here's Amir Dawes. Outside, Rice for three. Could not connect. Had a good look.
Would have been one of those timely baskets that we saw from Rice in the first half when Roselle Catholic threatened to pull away.
Whitney off the rim. Rebound, Robinson tried to dish it underneath and gets it back. And then taking it in is Pierre Louis.
Woo. Dynamic. A Euro step around the defense and a finish with the offhand.
Josh Pierre Louis heading to UNLV. Head out west to play for the Running Rebels.
Chose the school in the Mountain West Conference over Georgia and Oklahoma State. Have to imagine he'll be an impact player from day one.
Amir Dawes trying to go up with it. And it's tough underneath when you got Cliff O'Rourke at 6'11" underneath the basket. It's a 9-point Roselle Catholic lead. And the Celtics in dire need of trying to get some offense going.
A 14-4 run for Roselle Catholic here on the road.
Vasquez double teamed. Good ball movement, but Roselle Catholic really has dialed up the defense. Long three by Dawes, but underneath to put it up and in is Ola.
Has those 4 fouls. So back on the floor, he's been a good spark off the bench for the Celtics.
Colby Rogers outside, 56-49, 7-point lead for the Lions. Whitney, strong move, can't connect. Up ahead comes Dawes, he lays it in.
You know, it's really interesting to watch Roselle Catholic in this setting. Of their 13 victories, 11 of them have been double figures. They have not played in a lot of tight games. Will that matter today?
Of course, these two teams have had a lot of tight games throughout the years. This has become a tremendous rivalry with St. Anthony's closing down. Of course, the Friars and the Celtics had been a great rivalry for many years. Then St. Anthony's and Roselle Catholic developed into a great rivalry. They played 3 straight non-public B title games, 13, 14, and 15. And of course, all the great games between St. Anthony's and the Patrick School. Patrick School broke St. Anthony's 41-game winning streak in the Finn Classic in 2017.
And since the closing of St. Anthony's, the Patrick School and Roselle Catholic, 2 of the 4 schools that went from the South Division to the North, that balances things out a bit better without having the old powerful Friars at the top half of the bracket every year.
6-point Roselle Catholic lead. They're up 57-51. 3:40 remaining, and they bring it out a little bit. Twisting, Pierre Louis. Oh, what a move! What a move by Pierre Louis! Draws the oohs and ahs from the crowd. Now it's a 2-on-1. Up ahead, Robinson is fouled. Josh Pierre Louis has flipped the switch here in the second half.
First, it was a Euro step, and Now the spin and the recovery and the step over through traffic. Incredible play off of what appeared to be broken play, and his creativity at the rim and the dexterity to use both hands is really a thing of beauty.
It is an 8-point lead for Roselle Catholic with 3:24 remaining here in this fourth quarter. Lions trying to remain undefeated, go to 14-0, and win their 26th straight. As you take a look at their schedule, they're heading down to Georgia later this weekend.
Massachusetts, playing a team from Georgia.
They're playing a team from Georgia.
The bus, not the plane.
Gotcha. Playing Norcross, Georgia in Massachusetts. Thank you for clarifying
more
that,
convenient
David.
for the Lions.
And yeah, a little better, although they're probably going to face 2 feet of snow up in Massachusetts.
Hope they enjoy.
Yeah, they'd rather go to Georgia, I'm sure. At Linden and then Gill St. Bernard's. How about Camden? That's a tremendous matchup. The great South Jersey power, the great Short Conference power, Rainey. It is a tough non-conference schedule, as if the Union County part of the schedule wasn't tough enough.
There are 2 teams ranked in the top 25 from New Jersey, according to USA Today. Roselle Catholic and Rainey are 2. And then at the end of the season, after the rematch with the Patrick School, Roselle Catholic gets a crack at Montverde, the team that is currently coached by Kevin Boyle, the former St. Patrick's coach, and the last team to take down the Lions. That was 25 games ago, or 26 games ago in February of 2018.
And that was just a 1-point loss. They lost 60-59. I know Roselle Catholic's got that game circled on their schedule. Meanwhile, they have an 8-point lead here with 3:07 remaining here in the fourth. Trying to push their record to 14-0, but also remain unbeaten in the division. And the referees talked that last sequence over. They awarded the ball to Roselle Catholic. Chris Chivanis comes out to midcourt and meets with the official. He wants to know what's going on. Shakes his head as he heads back to the bench. Here's Whitney. Lost the ball. Good defense by the Celtics, stripping it. Up ahead, Dawes. Dishes in the corner. Vasquez double team, breaks the double team, and puts it in. That's a wonderful play by Vasquez.
19 points for Vasquez. First points of the fourth after the monster third.
59-53. 2:35 left. Jump shot outside, doesn't go. And here come the Celtics. Alamir Dawes up ahead. Rice in the corner for 3. Off the rim, no. Rebound underneath. Slips out of the hand of Shaim Powell. And it will be Roselle Catholic ball. Six-point Lion lead, 59-53. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left. Here's Whitney.
Vasquez with assignment defensively.
Whitney lost it as Vasquez poked it away from behind. Good defense. Still plenty of time for the Celtics. A minute 56. They're down by 2 possessions. Alamir Dawes dribbles in. Stops, pops, and hits. It's a 4-point game. 59-55. A minute 35 left.
Let's see how Roselle Catholic plays it up 2 possessions with 90 seconds to go. They're in attack mode as Pierre-Louis draws the foul.
The explosion of Josh Pierre-Louis is really something to behold. He looks like he is shot out of a cannon driving to the hoop. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. And his first spins around and out.
Dave Boff commenting on Pierre-Louis' leadership as a senior, a veteran of this team, somebody who's been around the varsity program for quite some time, helping to integrate the newcomers to the Lions' way.
5-point deficit for the Patrick School. Dawes trying to get a 4-point play, and he was just inches from doing so. Instead, he'll shoot free throws, and he should shoot 3 here. First, good. Oh, these are huge free throws. He can hit all 3. He can draw his team to within 2, and they say it was a 2-point shot, not a 3.
Dawes matching Vasquez with 19 points.
Thought Dawes was behind the line, but apparently his foot was on the line. So he hits both, and it's a 3-point game, 60-57. Pierre-Louis spinning in, puts it in, and the foul.
In the half court, he's so creative and enough strength to fight through the contact, and he's got all the angles and the ability to flex. Mean mugging after the make. I will stay out of your path, sir.
Can't hit the free throw. It's a 5-point lead for Roselle Catholic. Just over a minute remaining here in regulation as Dawes backs it out. Leaves it for Vasquez, pops a 3, in and out. Rebound Whitney.
The play of Josh Pierre-Louis offensively has been the difference in this second half. Had just 2 points at the break, and his explosion, his ability to break down the defense and get to the rim has been the difference in a 5-point game.
And a timeout called with 42 seconds left. Roselle Catholic up by 5, 62-57, trying to go to 3-0 in the division and 14-0 overall. Patrick School with a loss would drop to 7-5, but as we said, don't be fooled by that record. This is a good basketball team. David, you brought up something earlier. This could be the first of 4 meetings between these two teams. It's possible. They, of course, will play one more time in the regular season. They could meet in the Union County tournament. Certainly could meet in the state tournament as well.
You know, we talked about the Roselle Catholic keys to the game. They really picked up the effort and energy, especially on the defensive side, come the second half when they dug out of a 7-point hole. They've done a good job on the shooters for the most part, although I'm sure Dave Boff is going to feel like they gave up more open looks than they wanted to, and they really have taken care of the ball. There hasn't been a ton of pressure from the Patrick School in the backcourt. Roselle Catholic has gotten into their offense, whether it's Whitney or Rogers or Pierre-Louis or Robinson. Good job by the Lions to limit their turnovers and not allow easy buckets the other way.
Here's Pierre-Louis, flips it up, draws the foul.
And I know I made a couple of shot clock jokes in the first half, but a lot of credit here to the Lions for not sitting on it. They were up 2 possessions with 90 seconds to go, and Pierre-Louis is attacking. I look over to Dave Boff, maybe thinking that the coaching staff is going to tell their players to slow down, or they want to pull it out and milk the clock, and that has not been the case. And so they're really trying to play this out all the way to the end. perhaps at some point you do want to be a bit more judicious with your shot selection, but for now, really playing this game out.
Here's Dawes. He flips to Rice for three. Off the back rim, no. And O'Rourke traveled, took an extra step.
So 2-possession game, a score, and then a chance for a steal or a foul. And remember, Roselle Catholic in the double bonus. So every reach in to stop the clock puts the Lions at the line for 2.
Jaquan Harris checks into the game.
He did so at the end of the second quarter as well. Good outside shooting threat.
6'3" freshman. Into Vasquez. He dribbles in, floats it up, off the glass, no. Rebound underneath, put up and in by the other freshman, Jaden Pierre. And he cuts it to a 3-point game. It's 62-59.
Patrick School using a timeout. An opportunity to set up what I would believe is full court pressure. We'll take another look at the freshman. It came after a killer crossover as he claimed the offensive rebound and stuck it back with his offhand.
So still time with 18 seconds remaining. It'll be Roselle Catholic's basketball.
And this is what you have to be really pleased about if you're the Patrick School. You're 7-4. You're a young and inexperienced team that gutted through a very difficult non-conference schedule that continues and resumes on Saturday. You're still not at full strength. You've gotten there a little bit with Ola and Anthony Thomas back in the mix. They've been practicing but not playing. That's depth and height on the front court. You're not even whole yet, and Chris Chavanis thinks he's going to get more players as the year progresses. So what you see from the Patrick School in mid-January is not the team that you'll see a month from now, but for right now, Lou, this team, as not as full as they will be, is in a one-possession game against the best team in the state.
Lions will toss it in. Pierre-Louis gets it into Greaves, who gets it across. Greaves flips to Robinson. And the foul is committed in the corner with just 11.7 seconds remaining. And Colby Rogers will go to the line. He'll shoot 2.
It's Rogers going to the line, but that play was set up by Richie Greaves. A one-man press break, getting it into the front court and setting up an opportunity where only one of 2 here at the line would make it a 2-possession game.
No, Rogers misses the first. This is a big one right here. He misses the second. And a chance for the Celtics to tie the game. They call timeout with 11.1 seconds remaining, and a 3-point shot will tie the game. So if you are the Patrick School here, who do you look for? Dawes, I would guess Alexander Rice would be in that mix.
For 3, absolutely.
And probably Vasquez.
No question, especially the way that Vasquez shot it to start the second half. 11 seconds left. No timeouts. With Roselle Catholic having a foul to give.
They had plenty of time. Well, it has been an outstanding performance by Alejandro Vasquez.
He's really got the range. This was part of that third quarter spurt in which he hit back-to-back triples to open up the scoring. Physicality as well, but they don't need that here. They need the outside shooting. He's got 19 for the Patrick School to match the high of his teammate Alamir Dawes. They always say an inbounder is one of the most dangerous players, even in the full court set.
So Vasquez will toss it in. Celtics must go the full length. They are down by 3. Vasquez having difficulty getting it in. He does to Rice, who flings it up the court, and the Celtics fortunate there as it was knocked out.
So they just drew up a full court play. Can they apply that now to the half court, or do they have to go to a more familiar set and not a specific play that would have been drawn up? And now they don't have to worry about it because Dave Boff calls timeout.
So Coach Boff wants to talk it over, set up his Roselle Catholic defense with just 7 seconds remaining. Plenty of time for the Patrick School to get off a good three-point look. They are down by 3, 62 to 59. This game has lived up to expectations, everything that we thought it would be between two of the premier programs in the tri-state.
Streaks are on the line for Roselle Catholic. 25 wins overall, nearly perfect, or perfect nearly for a year, and 36 wins against New Jersey competition dating back to March of 2017. There is a scoreboard on this side of the floor, so the Patrick School will be able to eye the time as they operate in the half court. A foul to give for Roselle Catholic. No timeouts remaining for the Patrick School.
Rice trying to get it in, he does. Here's Vasquez for 3, pops it up, doesn't go. Rice flips it back outside, three-point shot, no! As Jaden Pierre put it up right at the buzzer. He had a good look, but it didn't go off the back rim, and Roselle Catholic defeats the Patrick School 62 to 61. They got a 2-point basket at the end, but it was not enough. They needed a 3. So Roselle Catholic wins it 62-61. This great game brought to you by HSS, the #1 hospital for orthopedics. With locations in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, the best is now nearby. We'll talk about Roselle Catholic's huge win when we come back. They win it by 1. Dramatic victory for Roselle Catholic as they defeat the Patrick School 62-61. The Lions remain undefeated. And Amanda Puglisi is standing by with our News 12 Varsity Player of the Game. Amanda?
And Lou, of course, who else would it be but Khalil Whitney. Khalil, you've been a part of this Roselle Catholic and the Patrick School rivalry. What is it about this game?
I mean, it's highly anticipated. Those guys, they come ready, they come prepared. They come with a scouting report. They try to make it as hard as possible for us to, convert on offense. I mean, everybody come out and show a lot of support for each team. We just come out and bring it every time.
You guys have won multiple games by double digits. This one, though, a little bit closer. What was your mindset, especially as one of the senior leaders, as we go down the stretch?
Just staying locked in defensively. Sometimes we get a little unfocused, and we give a lot of tough shots and open shots. But I feel like down the stretch, we converted on offense, and we locked up defensively.
And how about the play tonight of Josh Pierre-Louis? I mean, he was on a completely another level for you guys in that second half.
Yeah, Josh stepped up big. I had a rough fourth quarter. I think I scored like 2 points. Josh stepped up, got into the lane, got the teammates in the game, and he got a lot of and-ones.
Hey, it's all about the win, right?
Yep, all about the win.
All right, Khalil, congratulations. All right, guys, back to you.
All right, Amanda, spectacular game by Khalil Whitney, who had some spectacular moves, but his teammate, Josh Pierre-Louis, he had his share as well.
Great foreshadowing for the News 12 Varsity Play of the Game. So elusive, so flashy, and the finish. Thanks to Josh Pierre-Louis, the streaks are intact. Now 26 wins overall, 37 straight against New Jersey competition. Josh Pierre-Louis has been at Roselle Catholic for all of them.
So a gigantic win for Roselle Catholic. The Lions go to 14-0 on the year. Their winning streak is now 26 straight, 37 against New Jersey competition as they defeat the Patrick School in a scintillating game, 62-61. That will do it here from Hillside High School. For David Resnick, Amanda Puglisi, our entire News 12 varsity team, I'm Lou Brogno. Thanks so much for joining us. Once again, your final score in exciting fashion, Roselle Catholic 62, the Patrick School 61.